Good morning, YouTube. It is Saturday, August 25th, 2018, and I made a video not that long ago about my 2018 Nissan Leaf, and I had some likes and dislikes. Anyway, I have a couple days off here. It's the weekend, and I'm going to go for a drive, go see a buddy I've known for most of my life. He lives in Princeton, British Columbia, which is over 500 kilometers away from here. I think it's about 580. So there's all this talk of Rapidgate, and I mentioned it in my last video that that you do get slower charging on longer distance drives if you need more than one rapid charge. Just for fun, I'm going to make a video. So I got on the PlugShare app and I looked at all the destination chargers, and I've selected one that's about 190 kilometers away in Princeton, British Columbia, and I'm going to hit the road and off I go. Holy crap, I made it to Princeton. Wow. As you can see, I have 0% battery left. And it's not a super hilly highway to get to Princeton, but there are some hills. And as I hit the hills, my estimated range just dropped. Like, oh, this is sketchy. And I was still like 25 kilometers away, and I was at like 2% battery, and I just figured, okay, we'll see what happens, and I'm just gonna keep going, and I guess I'm gonna have to call the tow truck. And then I hit another hill, and then I hit another hill, and it just kept going on. I actually made it here. So the next fast charger on my way to Castlegar is in Greenwood, and I just looked it up. It's just about exactly 200 kilometers away. So the rated range on this 2018 Leaf is 242. I've learned my lesson from barely making it to where I am now, and I don't want to just fill till I have 201 kilometers for a 200 kilometer drive. I do need a little bit of padding there in case it's hilly. So here's the Rapidgate thing. This is my first level 3 charge of the day. And plugged in, rapid chargers, level 3s, they could output up to 50 kilowatt hours, and I'm getting half. So thanks to a warm battery, let's have a look. See, that's what it shows. It's not particularly warm, like warning warm, but it's warmish. It's been on the highway driving, and for that reason, I'm getting roughly a half charge of what this charger can output. So instead of 20 minutes to 50%, it's going to be 39 minutes, and it's going to be 2 hours to a full charge. So it's a good thing I'm on vacation, and this is kind of a project drive for fun, and I guess I've got some time to kill. I'm going to go for a walk and see the sights. Right, I've been parked in Princeton for about probably 20-25 minutes now. Just walked over to a Subway, got something to eat, got a coffee. Now I'm going to walk back over. I'm using the Green Lots app for where I'm parked right now, and it sent me a message 10 minutes ago saying your charge rate is very low, indicating your car is probably fully charged or getting there. But that can't be right, because it was at 0%, and it's going to take a lot longer than 15 minutes to get fully charged. So I don't know what's going on. I don't know if the app shut down the charger, so I got to go back and see what's going on there. Just a general idea, something that just came to my mind. I thought I'll include it in the video. It has to do with the value of time, really, because it's kind of basic math of if you're going to use an electric car and you're going to bounce off of chargers, is it worth the time it takes to get a charge? Let's say it's a free charge, okay? Let's say it's free. But let's say it takes an hour. So you're getting a free charge, but you have to wait an hour. So what would it cost in a gas car to pull up to a pump and get your full tank? These days the price of gas, Canadian, I'd probably spend in my old car, which was a Focus, little 4-cylinder, I'd spend like probably 60 bucks. So the question is, if I were to use a free charger, and that's great that it's free, but I don't get a $5-minute fill up that would cost $60. I get a free fill up, but it costs time. So if an electric car takes 1 hour to charge, is it worth 1 hour to save $60? Is my time value worth $60? And the answer to that's going to vary from person to person. Is it worth my time, an hour of my time, to save $60? I would say, if I'm not in a hurry, yes. I'm willing to spend 1 hour to save $60. And in that hour, you know, you could go get something to eat, go get some exercise, go for a walk. I could sure always use a walk. You know, but that's only if I can spare that time. And quite often, people can't. Like, you need to go somewhere. You can't just find a charger and waste an hour of your time. So it's questionable. So in that scenario, I'm assuming that a level 3 charger is free. But now the question is, what if it's not free? What if it's what is this one? It's 35 cents per kilowatt at this one. So 10 kilowatt charge is going to cost me $3.50. A half charge is going to be $7. A full charge, 40 kilowatts from dead empty, it's going to be $14. So I'm paying $14. Maybe I would have paid $60 in gas. So I'm saving $45. And it's not taking an hour. According to my car dash, it's going to take 2 hours. So I'm saving $45 versus having gas, but it's taking 2 hours of my time. So that's $22.50 per hour. Is my time worth more than $22.50 per hour? Without a doubt. Absolutely it is. I'll save $60 in an hour, but to be inconvenienced with a slow charge and save $22, I would say that's not a particularly good deal. All right, I'm back at the charger and I hear the fan on. It's still running, and I've been on for about almost 24 minutes. I'm 50% charged. So I don't know why the Greenlots app messaged me that my rate is really slow, and looks like I'm done charging, because it's still running. Chatimo's still locked in. Everything's still charging correctly in the car. Check out my last video where I complain about this incessant beep noise, where you're sitting in your car when it's plugged in and the car's unlocked, and it needs to remind you that your door's open. Yes, I know it's open. I'm not going anywhere. Charging. So the charge rate hasn't decreased. Oftentimes it will slow down as you get closer to the top. That's the same rate I got when I plugged in originally, 25 kilowatt. So yeah, I've been here just under half an hour, and this is indicating an hour and a half to go until full charge. So I don't know, I've got an audiobook on my phone. I could just go for a 1 hour walk. It's a good thing I'm on vacation. But the battery is heating up, of course, so this rate is held around 25 kilowatt. And I've kind of griped a little bit about a slower charge rate thanks to the lack of active cooling. But the battery temperature is on the rise, and I'll bet pretty soon, probably within 10 minutes or so, it's going to start to throttle down the charge rate even further because of temperature. And that's where cars like a Tesla, and I can't compare a Leaf to a Tesla, they're completely different classes, but I can compare it to, you know, maybe a Volt or a Bolt. Bolts are a little better on the range, but, you know, ref equivalents. But also the Ioniq, the Hyundai Ioniq, which has a smaller battery and is a lower cost car. All those cars, oh, there we go, it just bumped up again, another temperature range. Okay, I'm still getting 25 though. All those cars have active battery coolers. So right now, while I'm charging up, there would be a cooling system keeping the battery temperature in normal parameters so that you don't get a reduced charge rate. In this car, there is no active battery cooling, just like all the past, the other generation, the earlier Leaf. Nissan just decided not to put it in, even though the competitors are putting it in. And by not putting it in, you really have to just wait. It throttles down the speed, and your charges take a lot longer than they probably should. So I said it in my last video, Nissan, I feel that they really dropped the ball not putting active battery cooling in. Like, I gladly would have paid more money as an option to have some kind of a battery cooling solution. Just past 1 hour now. I've been at this charger 1 hour 2 minutes. I'm at 93%. And the battery rate, it held at about 24-ish for a good while. And it's now just starting to go down. It's down to 20. It's probably going to go to 19 shortly. 93%. And I know from Google Maps that the next destination's about 200 kilometers away. I don't know why that says 139. It is wrong. And I'm going to give myself some padding. If I've got 240 range, that's an extra 20% buffer. That should be adequate. Now look at my temperature. I'm already up there. So what is the highway drive going to do now that my battery temperature is already this high? So I'm going to get going in a, yeah, see, it's dropping fairly quickly. So I will unplug, carry on my way, and resume the video 200 kilometers down the road. We'll see what that all looks like. I'm now in Greendale, British Columbia. I'm about 140 kilometers from Castlegar. I was getting a little tight on electricity, so I stopped at a gas station about 25 kilometers in the direction I came from west, and just got a level 2 top-up charge for maybe 20 minutes. And then I carried on to Greendale, where there's a high-speed charger on the Flow network. And this one, you don't pay per kilowatt hour, you pay in time. So whether you're getting a full speed charge or your car throttles it down, you're paying the same. It's $19 an hour. So plugged in, battery's pretty high, and I'm getting a rate of 16 kilowatts. So it's kind of overcast and cold out. The air temperature outside here is 16 degrees. So I don't know, if Nissan had introduced some kind of air cooling, so when you're moving, it's at least blowing air across the battery or across some fins attached to it, some kind of heat transfer system, you'd think that it could cool down, but it doesn't have that. It's a completely enclosed battery, and it cools down very slowly. So that's it. I'm paying $19 per hour for a 16 kilowatt charge rate. So I'm paying like triple what I should be, basically, because I'm paying for something that could probably do 42, 44, but I'm limited to 16. So I have pretty much spot on the amount of electricity I need to get to my destination. It's 140 kilometers away. This says 143 is available now. And I called my friend in Castlegar, and he said, just be aware there's one more big hill before you get to Castlegar. So for that reason, I'm going to guess I need a good amount more. I should probably charge up to 75%, which means another half-hour wait. So another 30-minute wait. How long have I been at the charger here now? It says 49 minutes. So I've been here 50 minutes. Maybe it needs another half hour, so 80 minutes. And this is a high-speed charger. And after 80 minutes, that should get me to 75% charge. If I were watching the clock and I really needed to get where I'm going, there's no way this would be enjoyable. All right, back again. It's now the following day. It's Sunday. By staggering out my stops and getting more shorter charges rather than a few less longer charges, I seem to get faster charging rates. Which of course is completely moot if you have a Tesla or a Chevy or a Hyundai or anything that's actively cooled, unlike Nissan. Yeah. Now I'm at Manning. It's a provincial park, Manning Park. It's it's right over here. And yeah, right about there where the arrow is. I still have to make it here to get home. But to get here, so I didn't put any extra in the battery when I was in Princeton. I figured I'd put in just enough, and yeah, I got here with 4% left, 4% battery. So this is great, and the fast charge is right over there. There it is. But if I plug into it with that for temperature, I'm probably going to get 15, 16 kilowatt hours. So what I'm going to do instead, I think I'm just going to take a break, go for a walk, give the car half an hour to cool down. Which again, if it was actively cooled, I wouldn't have to waste half an hour. Check the time, 6:20. I'm going to come back when it's 6:50, and let's see how much further down it's gone while we're in rather cold temperature outside. Okay, half an hour later, it's 6:50 p.m. It's cold outside, rainy and cold, and yeah, it took half an hour to see what kind of a difference it would make. It is really 10 degrees Celsius outside. It's cold out, and what's happened in half an hour? Here we go. That's it. It's gone down slightly. If I were to plug in right now in a high-speed charger that's right outside, it's a 50 kilowatt charger, I'm going to guess that I would get at best 22 is my guess. In the name of science, I'm going to go waste another half hour. Yeah, kick around for another 30 minutes and see what that does to the battery temperature. It's now 7:20, and this is showing that it's 10 degrees still outside. An hour later, wow. There it is. It's gone down like 2 notches. So, I was probably, I'm going to guess, I was going to get 12 kilowatt hour charge rate when I was up even higher an hour ago. Charge is right over there, so let's drive over and see what we get now. My hypothesis was that maybe if you let it sit and it cools down and you use up time waiting, you can then make up that time because your battery is cooler and you get a much faster charge rate. That's what I was kind of hoping would happen, but I have my doubts. Okay, it's now charging. What is your guess, YouTube? What is your guess? What is my charge rate? Yes, battery is very low. We know this. So what are we getting?
Very low battery charge.
Yes.
Search for nearest charging station.
I am aware. No, I'm plugged into a charger. I don't need to find one. And what are we getting? 20. So I had to wait an hour to let it cool down in 10 degree cold, rainy, crappy weather. And it's given me 20 kilowatts. So I think I'm still like 150 kilometers from home. I'm probably going to charge it up to like 75%. So I've already been here an hour. The high-speed charger, at least this one's free, so I really can't complain. But no, I can complain because I bought a car that's disabled when it comes to long-range travel. I did post another Nissan Leaf video not that long ago, and I did give a lot of likes and dislikes, and I kind of touted a lot of praise. And you know, day-to-day driving, it is a good car, but long distance, I give it a, I don't want to exaggerate and say an F. I give it a C-. So many stops, so many delays, so many reduced charge rates. They say you get this car with a quick charge option, and you plug in and you get 20. That really sucks, Nissan. All right, half an hour later, it's now 7:50 p.m. and my app still shows 9 degrees Celsius outside. Still getting 20 kilowatt charge rate. I'm 124 kilometers from home. You also have to factor in highway speeds and hills. So if you need to go 124, you probably want to bare bones minimum of 140, I would guess. So I'm not even half charged yet. So I'm just going to hang out here and think some deep thoughts, namely why Nissan didn't put active cooling in their 2018 Leaf. I just disconnected. I'm at 155. Battery temperature is quite high, and I'm now going to drive home. When I unplugged, I was at 19 kilowatt hour rate, and that's on a high-speed charger. Rapidgate is real. All right, this is the end of the video. It's almost 10 p.m. and I'm back in my hometown again. I made it from Manning, BC to Chilliwack, BC. And yeah, it's cold out. I drove home in the dark and very wet, rainy, cold, and I had a pretty hot battery. So I just stopped for about 10 minutes, and surprisingly it went down a little bit on the temperature. It was touching the first red bar the entire drive here. So I don't know. It's kind of a long, rambly video. All to say a fairly concise point that Rapidgate is a pretty serious issue. Again, my last video, I said a lot of good things about the Leaf. It does still have a lot of good things, but I would say if you're planning to drive it anywhere beyond probably 300, 350 kilometers, really not ideal. It's going to be a painful drive. You're going to have fast charge issues, and it's going to be frustrating, and you're not going to like it. So there you go. For short range travel, it's good. This was an experiment. If I were to grade it a pass or a fail for long distance travel, I would rate the 28 Nissan Leaf as a fail for long distance travel. Short range is another story. But it sure would be nice. It seemed, you know, the way it's built, it's so close. Like it could be a long-range vehicle. Active cooling would be great, but some kind of an air venting system where, you know, you hit a button and the flap opens and some cold air just from your traveling passes along the battery. Like something, you know, these Nissan engineers are smart people. You'd think they could come up with something. I don't know. Anyway, that's the end of my rant. Hope this is all helpful. Thank you.